Hi, so I'm going to be talking about the saxophone, how to assemble it, how to create a good sound on it as well. So to assemble the small piece, you're going to need the neck of the saxophone, the mouthpiece and the ligature, and the reed. So to assemble the reed and mouthpiece, I'm going to take my reed and always make sure that it's wet because you don't want to play on a dry reed. Make sure that the reed is flat on top of the mouthpiece, leaving a small little gap in between the reed and the mouthpiece. And the way I like to check that is just using a piece of paper and stick it down the middle so that it fits snug. And then I'll take the ligature, make sure that the screws are going to the right. Slide that on top. And then I like to make sure that the screws are on the right, and then I will screw the reed, and make sure that it's on there nice and snug, but not too tight because then we will be able to create a good sound. So just gonna screw that on. Sure it's aligned. Alrighty. And there you go. It should look like this. Then you're going to take the neck, hold down the octave key. I just like to do it for safe measures. And then twist on the mouthpiece. So, yeah. So, to make sure that I am playing the correct notes and making sure that I'm in tune and everything, I like to play an A flat on the small piece. Now that I have an A flat, we're going to talk about tone. So what affects the tone on the saxophone? There are many different things, so making sure for your students whether they have either too much reed in their mouth or they don't have enough. Also check for if they're biting down on the reed a lot, because that can create tension in the mouth and then also not create a very good tone. So those are things that I would look for in my students playing saxophone. Now that we have the small piece assembled, I'm going to take the actual saxophone by the bell, and I'm going to hook it up to attach it to my neck strap, and make sure the neck strap is comfortable for me so that it won't like droop or anything. Then I'm attaching the small piece to the top of the saxophone, and I'm holding down the octave key as well. I'm just going to twist it on there. Okay, now about hand positions. You're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you want to make sure that your fingers are curved at all times and make sure that they're not tense or anything. Also, you're going to have your thumb on the back of this pad right here. It's going to be at like 2 o'clock if you're thinking of a clock or something. And then there's also a thumb rest on the bottom. So you're just going to stick it under there so that you don't have any tension. So now I'm going to play the notes that were given on the exam. So I'm going to play B4, A4, and then G4, D5, and E5. Now I'll play my basic sixes. Now I'm going to play the examples from Measures of Success. Now This is 1.29. This is 1.31. Now I'll be playing the excerpts from Habits of Musicianship. And this is the last one. So when it comes to embouchure, you want to make sure that your tin is flat. You don't want it to be too crooked or too out. Just perfectly flat. You want it to lay flat. And then you want to make sure that your corners are kind of in a downwards position, but you don't want it to be tight or tense because that will not be good for your student who is playing the new instrument. Also, you want to make sure that the corners they are going against the mouthpiece, and you want to make sure that your student is putting enough of their mouth on the mouthpiece. And also, like most saxophone mouthpieces will come with a mouth guard just for extra protection, and for extra embouchure tips when it comes to breathing and like actually playing the instrument. I would say a lot of fast air, good breath support. You don't want them to breathe from here, but you want them to breathe from their stomach, just to get all of that tension released. And so, yeah.